Afternoon. We haven't been on for a little while. We haven't done any videos as we promised we would, but we're back, and we've decided to do a simpler how to clean your bearings video. One with shielded bearings and unshielded bearings. A lot of people have been asking us recently how we clean our bearings, so we thought it would be a good chance to show you a bit with some close-ups hopefully. So we're not great at editing, so we're going to have to do a few close-ups, and then I'm going to have to whip round the other end of the camera and do my spiel and stuff like that. But for the time being, Harry's on there in front of you. You can see Harry. Yeah, well done, Harry.
Hello.
And I'm just going to show you the two types of bearings I'm talking about. So the two types of bearings that you'll recognise are this one here, which is a shielded bearing, and most skates come with those. So the balls are protected by a shield to keep them clean and lubricated in there. And then we've got an open bearing, which is this bearing here, which we tend to use, which has got a ball holder on one side and then the open balls on the other. Okay, so if you've got this type of bearing, you're going to be fine. You can go and clean those straight away. They're really easy to clean. And if you've got a shielded bearing, I'm going to have to show you how to take the shield off. Okay, so let's grab hold of that again. This is the shielded bearing, as I said before. And what you'll need is, the easiest way to take the shield off is with a hooked Stanley knife blade. Okay, so you need to be real careful for obvious reasons. And what you're going to need to do is put this shielded bearing down onto a hard surface, and then you get your Stanley knife blade and you insert the point just here between the inner race and the shield. Okay, so you apply a bit of pressure on the top, push down. You have to do it quite hard sometimes, but don't force the point right deep down into the bearing. And once it's penetrated the shield, you'll notice, because it will buckle just ever so slightly, you want to turn the blade up like that and pop, out will come the shield. Okay, that's the way to get the to get it off. I will just try and show you now, but it'll probably be on a longer shot, so probably won't do you much benefit. But so in you go there. I'll just show you how easy. Push down a little bit, like so. Sometimes you have to move it round. It's not easy to do. Well, it is easy to do when you can get it in. Let me just find a place. It's not going to go in there. In fact, it's not going to go in at all by the feel of it. Should do.
Never give up.
So, yeah, there we go, in there like that, just so I wasn't pressing hard enough. So you can see it's kinked like that. Hopefully you can see it's in there. Some of these, yeah, it does. Sometimes these come out really easy and sometimes they don't. So, like that, there you go. And off comes the shield. It's as simple as that. And that exposes the bearing. And then on the other side, you'll notice there's another shield, and you've got to do it again on that side. In there, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of gunky grease. And that's what we need to deal with when we clean them out the first time. An open bearing, you won't have that sort of gunky grease in there because they're designed to be cleaned, and these are not. So now you've got an open bearing, I'll tip it back up and I'll show you what to do with it. Okay, so that's that. That's Harry again, and hopefully we can just slip round and then I'll show you how to do it. Right, so what you need to do is find yourself a container like this, put your bearings in, pour some petrol over them so it just covers them, put your lid on and leave them overnight. Obviously don't leave them in the house overnight or anywhere that's enclosed, because obviously the petrol fumes are not great for your health. Okay, so you need to do that outside or in the garage or something. Next morning when you come out, give them a swill around with something, usually an old spoon or something like that, just to swish them all around. And you'll see all the bits of jelly and stuff like that, the jellified grease, that'll all start to lift off. And then what you need to do is get yourself one of these. It's a Bones bottle, you can make them. And then all you do is unscrew your end bit. Got lots of these spacers. Put on a bearing, on a spacer, bearing spacer all the way along. Tighten up your wing nut at the end. Clean petrol in here. Put them all in. Give them a shake for about 3 minutes, really vigorously all around. You'll have to do them in 2 batches for one skate, because obviously you have 16 bearings and this only takes 8. So do that twice, tip out your petrol, fresh petrol in. You want to do that process a couple of 3 times until they're really nice and clean. When they're on here, rotate them round a little bit between cleans and then put them back in. You're just trying to free up all the dirt and all the old grease off and get them clean.
Wait, can you buy them?
Can you buy them?
Bottles?
Yeah, you buy these bottles or you can make them. We bought this Bones bottle, it was about £8 or £9. We've had it for about 2 or 3 years.
I made the lid.
Yeah. So, no, we didn't make the lid, that's the original lid. So then when you've got them all nice and clean, what you want to do is a warm radiator or just a place what's generally warm. Lay out a nice piece of paper, line all your bearings up along that piece of paper and leave them for a couple of hours to dry out. When they're dried out, you want to get some Singer sewing machine oil is really good. You can buy a 100ml bottle of Singer sewing machine oil. Just the really light oil is what you want. And then just one tiny drop on the bearing. So you get your Singer sewing machine oil, one tiny drop of oil, and then just rotate your bearing round. And you can see how that bearing's rotating round, hopefully, really slowly, yeah? And you'll notice that when they're clean, they rotate really fast. And with one drop of oil, you'll have no problems. Refit them back into your wheels, and you'll be well away. You won't really. You wish you'd have done it years ago. The benefit is really good, and they spin nice and clean. Not too much oil is my tip. We've put 2 or 3 drops of oil in them before. It all oozes out and it picks up dirt and all sorts of bits of grit. So minimal amount. If you're really daring, you can run them dry. Loads of people run them dry. Sometimes we run them dry, and they'll last about 2 or 3 months like that before they'll need cleaning again. There is 16 of them in a set of skates. You're not going to wear them out even with no greasing. Okay, so that's how to clean the bearing, how to remove a shield. It is a lengthy process the first time you do it, but hopefully from that you can see what we mean. Okay, yeah. Alright, I'm going to go back around the camera and switch it off now, and we'll promise you we'll do some more videos soon.
Thank you for subscribing.
Until then, have fun.